This is Kombatchain for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. We're at the Burj Al Arab here in Dubai for the launch of Kombatchain. I'm joined by now Probellum's Richard Schaefer, who's come on to Probellum in a little bit. But how are you, first of all, Richard?
I'm feeling great, thank you. Happy to be here in Dubai. What a place. This is really more and more. Every time I come back, it seems to me it's becoming the new fight capital of the world.
Absolutely. Like I said, we'll come on to the show from Dubai after this. But yeah, a star-studded lineup here in Dubai at the Burj Al Arab, and everyone kind of soaking in a lot of information regarding ecosystems and blockchain technology. But Kombatchain, the super app that's going to make a big dent in boxing for the positive reasons.
I really believe so. And look, I don't pretend to be a blockchain or crypto specialist. For me, it's new. My sons are in their 20s. They know much more about it than I do. But this was really eye-opening today for me. And I think it was eye-opening for a lot of the people here. First of all, you mentioned it, the lineup, some of the world's leading promoters from around the world, sanctioning organizations, managers, and some of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world were here. Some former champions, legends, I mean, it's just, and some of the smartest brains from the crypto world were here united at the Burj Al Arab. So what a way to launch that. And I think what this is going to do, it's going to change boxing. And I said it when I was up on the panel, I think today is a big day for boxing. Boxing is finally embracing, like other sports, the blockchain technology and the crypto world, and I think good things will happen.
I think something, obviously, they talked about the kind of that fragmented part of the sport that was spoken about by a lot of guys here today. But fans want to feel like they're more involved in the sport. It's something that brings them closer to the fighter, and boxing is one of them sports where it's not like soccer or football. It is an accessible sport. You've seen a lot of the boxers coming from working class backgrounds, etc. So this is a very niche sport, as it's put, but a very powerful one.
Yes, and I think it lends itself perfectly to blockchain and to crypto because the rights are all together. You know, a promoter owns all the rights worldwide, not like in other sports where TV rights are with this person and with that person and sponsorship rights and so on. Here, you really control all the rights. It lends itself perfectly to that new technology, the crypto world. And you know, during the presentations today, which I think were really enlightening, one thing which really stood out to me and immediately had like a light bulb go off was when that person mentioned that a major recording artist recently released an album over blockchain, and there were only 1 million albums sold. And when you bought that album, you had the right to that album. You could listen to it and so on. And if you were not one of the 1 million, you're left out, right? So they came out, I think they came out at like 10 pounds or something like that. And then the price went up to as high as 120 because those people who didn't have it, they wanted it, right? So now imagine, when he said that, I thought like, okay, pay-per-view. You know, if you have a big fight and you sell out Wembley Stadium, right? Ticket demand goes up. Ticket prices go up in the secondary market. Imagine if we do a crypto, a blockchain pay-per-view. We are going to sell worldwide 1 million pay-per-views. We announce it 90 days before the fight, and we're going to sell 1 million pay-per-views. And the only way you can buy it is through the blockchain. So now comes fight night. If you're not one of the 1 million, guess what? You can't watch it. So what will happen? The price is going to go up, right? Who is going to benefit from it? Because it can only be traded through the blockchain. The fighters, because they participate in every extra revenue. So the applications of that technology, by the way, I talked to one of the leading guys from one of the leading exchanges was sitting on my table.
Binance.
Exactly, Binance. I asked him, you know, one of the big problems which hurts boxing and hurts fighters' payday is the piracy. People not paying for the pay-per-view because they get it for free. They find a way to get the link and stuff like that, right? Can you secure with blockchain the pay-per-view that you can't steal it? He said, absolutely. So imagine, imagine the potential for boxing. That's why I say we're going to look back at this interview here some years from now, and I am on the record saying today is the day, the beginning of changing the sport of boxing for the better. And I'm so happy to be here.
Just finally about this, I think the one thing we did take from today is that aside from kind of fans being involved and like we spoke about kind of getting closer to their fighter via this super app, this is all about the fighter and the benefit of the fighter, which isn't always the case in boxing, as you know, Richard.
No, absolutely. I mean, look, the NFTs and stuff like that, and you heard Igis Klimas, the manager of many great fighters, including the heavyweight champion Usyk, talk about Usyk had an NFT, and it didn't really work out that well because the people behind it didn't really know what they were doing. So to surround yourself with the right people, I think is key, and that's what they bring to the table here with the Kombatchain. But it's not just the NFTs, it's the health benefits. You heard about that. Health benefits for fighters. So it really will create additional revenue streams, and it will create a safety net for the fighters as well. And that's really refreshing because unlike other sports, boxing is in a way unregulated. It's regulated when it comes to a fight night, yes, the commissions, but on a bigger scale it really isn't. So for this platform to come in and organize the sport, help the fighters, it's going to be great for the fighters, but it's frankly going to be great for the sport, and great, if it's great for the sport, guess what? It's great for the promoters as well.
Absolutely. Now, when I interviewed Kalle Sauerland earlier, he said that he strategically sat on the left-hand side of the couch in order for you and Eddie to sit next to each other. That's what he told me. He did it on purpose.
No, look, I was actually, when I saw Eddie today, I said, man, I'm so happy. We're on the same team. That's what I told him. We're on the same team. We work together and we promote together. We will promote fighters together. And I'm really excited about that. This is what the sport needs, that we can all work together. The beneficiary are going to be the fight fans, the sport, and of course the fighters. So I was very happy to sit next to Eddie, and Kalle and me are longtime buddies, you know. So, but it's funny that he said that.
Richard, I mean, just to finish off on that, there's a lot of people in America, promoters, etc., that have taken a huge dislike to Mr. Eddie Hearn. I mean, we know promoters have back and forth, etc., but we've seen all this stuff with Leonard Ellaby recently, where he was saying he was going to, you know, do stuff if he saw Eddie Hearn. I mean, what's going on over there with the guys over there and Eddie Hearn?
Look, when you're on top of your game, you have a lot of haters. You're on top of your game. You think everybody likes you? No, not everybody likes you. The same is with Floyd Mayweather. You think everybody liked Floyd Mayweather? More than half the people bought his pay-per-views because they couldn't stand him, right? And the same is with Eddie. Eddie is on top of the game. So guess what? They hate him. It's normal.
It's just life. It's life.
It's life, and it will never change. And if he wouldn't be where he is, you think people would hate him? No, they wouldn't care.
Right, let's finish off by talking about, obviously you couldn't be there because you were with Nonito Donaire last weekend, but a great opening show at the Coca-Cola Arena in Dubai. I was there myself. Sonny Edwards, who's here today, successfully defending his world title. Bit of a situation obviously with Paul Butler not fighting, but in general a very good show and a good opening start for Probellum.
Well, I was really, I watched it in Los Angeles on TV, on Access TV. Started at 8 o'clock in the morning. It was a great telecast, came across very well. The atmosphere was great. I could hear the Filipinos in the crowd. It was a great crowd, a great turnout. And so I think we as Probellum are really very, very happy on what transpired last Saturday here in Dubai. And I really believe this is the first of many, many fights which we will do here. And we will grow the market, we will grow the region. Our board member, Ahmed Siddiqui, did a great job really building up the fight business here for the past few years. He's been active promoting. He is a man with passion, with resources, with ideas. And it's just great that he is part of the Probellum family. family, and without him we couldn't have done it. So that was a great fight night. I think Sonny Edwards turned in a masterful performance. I'm a big fan of his. I think there's some great fights. Maybe one of them we can do together with Eddie. Right? Yeah, right. So I think he has a tremendous upside. So very, very excited about that. And yes, I couldn't be here even though it was our first show. And in a way, it's sort of like is nice after only 2.5 months. Imagine that, Probellum, a new company, is already so busy that I couldn't even be at our first show because we had another show going on in Los Angeles with the legendary Nonito Donaire fighting against the undefeated Gaballo, and he won by a devastating knockout. So the Donaire legend continues, and so I was very happy to be there. And then next morning, Sunday, I flew here. 16 hours later, I'm here for this, and heading back to Los Angeles on Friday.
Wow, busy times. And obviously Probellum's next show is in Sunderland,
Yes.
up in the northeast of England. So Lewis Ritson, Ricky Burns, a stacked card there as well.
Stack card, sold out. So that's another great event. So I mean, I've never seen a promotion company in such a short period of time having that kind of impact. It's unbelievable. And I mentioned it to you before, we signed some amazing talent. The McCormick twins just recently, Olympic gold medalist as well from middleweight from Sousa from Brazil, Regis Prograis, and so many other fighters. But our main focus was really to sort of like embrace the world. We signed partnership agreements with 25 different countries now, leading promoters from around the world, and that was really our main focus. We want to unify the sport, and I'm just so impressed with the people we have in Probellum and what these first couple of months have brought to Probellum. I could just imagine a year from now.
Yeah, we're looking forward to seeing that where it is this time next year with kind of the start Probellum have made already this year. Richard, thank you very much for talking to IFL TV. I'm sure I'm going to be seeing loads of you over the coming months and years. So, yeah, thank you for your time.
Excellent. Looking forward to come back to the UK and promote some big events there as well with my new best friend, Eddie Hearn.
Brilliant. Richard, thank you very much. God bless.